You have a second life, not a metaphor, a continuation. Every night, when the room goes quiet and the ceiling becomes a screen, you slip back into a story that only you know. Same characters, same unresolved tension from last week. You pick up exactly where you left off, like pressing play on a series that never got canceled. Some nights you replay a single scene 3 times because the dialogue didn't land right. Other nights you let it unfold and just watch. Half creator, half audience, fully somewhere else. Morning comes. You're in a meeting, nodding at the right pauses, making eye contact, even offering an MHM that fits the rhythm. But part of you left that room 10 minutes ago. Inside, you're having a conversation with someone who isn't there. Winning a disagreement that will never actually happen. Running a version of your life where you said the thing you didn't say. The scene is so detailed that when your name cuts through, it takes a full second to remember which version of you is being called. You've been doing this for years. 2 lives, parallel, and lately you're not always sure which one feels more real. If that landed somewhere in your chest, this is for you. Because your brain didn't just start doing this randomly. There's a reason, and it's probably not what you think. Here's what's actually happening. When you're not focused on a task, not scrolling, not working, not absorbing someone else's words, your brain doesn't power down. It fires up something called the default mode network. The same neural system that handles memory, imagination, and simulating future scenarios. So when you're washing dishes or walking a familiar route, and suddenly you're 3 layers deep into a fantasy, that's not your mind wandering aimlessly. That's a specific, highly evolved network doing exactly what it was built to do. It's running you through possibilities, without the risk of real-world fallout. Back in 2002, a psychologist named Eli Summer in Haifa started noticing something. Some of his patients weren't just occasional daydreamers. They were spending hours inside elaborate inner worlds. 3, 4, sometimes 6 hours a day. He gave it a name. Maladaptive daydreaming. And the research that followed revealed it wasn't rare. It just wasn't being talked about. But here's where most explanations lose the thread. They jump to the clinical label and skip right over the part that actually matters to you. Your brain isn't glitching. It's simulating, testing outcomes, rehearsing emotions, all without breaking anything out here. It learned, probably a long time ago, that this was a remarkably efficient way to process what couldn't be processed out loud. So why does your brain keep choosing the invented version over the real one? Because inside your head, you have something you almost never get out here. Control. Complete narrative control. Nobody interrupts. Nobody misreads your tone. Nobody walks away before you're finished. You get to say exactly what you mean. Voice steady, no gaps, no static, and it goes deeper than conversation rehearsal. Your brain figured out that this is where it can safely feel things that don't have a home anywhere else. The apology you never got. The grief that didn't make sense to anyone around you. The version of your life where you made the other choice. Fantasy gives those feelings a room to exist in, when reality never provided one. There's a reason so many people describe it the same way. I'm the main character of my own movie. It sounds like pure escapism, and sometimes it is, but more often it's closer to emotional maintenance. You're not running from your life. You're running the simulations your real life won't allow. Rehearsing courage, processing loss, practicing what it feels like to be fully heard. And underneath all of that, something quieter is happening. You're keeping yourself company in a way that, if you're honest, nobody else has quite figured out how to do for you yet. But there's a line, and most people can feel it, even if no one ever pointed it out. Regular daydreaming is voluntary. It drifts in, runs for a few minutes, and when a sound or a task pulls you back, you return. No resistance. Your brain resets. But for some, combing back is the hard part. The scenes stretch into hours. You know you should stop, but stopping feels like leaving somewhere you'd rather be. Real life starts to feel thinner, less vivid, less yours. The daydreaming itself isn't the problem. It's when you can't step out that it starts to cost you something. And if you've been there, really been there, you know the voice, the quiet one beneath everything else. This isn't real. I know this isn't real, but it feels more real than anything out here, and I don't want to leave. That voice is the part most people never say out loud. That refusal to leave is where it turns. Because at some point, and you probably know exactly when, the daydreaming stops being something you choose and starts being somewhere you disappear into. You're at dinner with people you care about, but you're not really there. Someone's speaking, and you're nodding, but inside you checked out 5 minutes in. You're back in the version where things make sense. The cost isn't loud, it's quiet. The project you never started because the fantasy of finishing it was already satisfying enough. The friendship that faded because you showed up at 60%. The hours, real hours, you can't account for because you were somewhere that doesn't exist. And the worst part, the part that's hard to say even to yourself, isn't the daydreaming. It's the shame that floods in after. You surface from a 3-hour spiral and the first feeling isn't relief. It's disgust. Why can't I just stop? And then, because shame is its own kind of pain, you know what happens next. You go back in, because in there at least, you don't have to feel this. That loop, escape, shame, escape, is where it gets heavy. And if you're inside it right now, I'm not going to tell you it's fine. It's not. But it didn't start here. It didn't start with you scrolling at 2 in the morning or zoning out in traffic. It started earlier, probably much earlier. In a room you haven't thought about in years. Maybe the house was loud. Voices bleeding through thin walls while you lay there with the covers pulled up, pretending to be asleep. Or maybe it was the opposite. The house was too quiet. The kind of quiet that meant someone was angry, but no one was going to explain why. Either way, nobody came. Nobody checked. And somewhere in that stillness, you figured something out. If you closed your eyes and started building a different world, a different house, a different version of love, the noise got softer. The silence became survivable. You found a place where someone actually showed up. Your brain didn't learn this from a book. It invented it. Found the most creative, least destructive way to survive a situation you couldn't control. And because it worked, truly worked, your brain kept the strategy. Filed it under use when things get overwhelming. 20 years later, you're still opening that same door. The room is different now. You're not a child anymore, but your nervous system hasn't fully updated. It's still running the version of you that needed to leave in order to stay. And maybe, just maybe, you don't need to leave like that anymore. Not in that way. Here's what I think is actually true. Your brain built something remarkable when you were young. A way to leave without leaving. A place to feel things safely. That ability isn't something to fix. It's something to understand. But if you've noticed that the world inside your head has started to feel more real than the one outside it, if hours are disappearing and the texture of real life is thinning, you don't need to destroy the daydream. You need to find the door back. And it doesn't need to be dramatic. Next time you feel yourself slipping in, try something small. Feel your feet on the floor. Notice one sound in the room, the hum of a fridge. Distant traffic, your own breathing. Take one breath that you actually pay attention to. You're not shutting anything down. You're just reminding your nervous system that out here is safe now too. And if someone ever asks why you zone out sometimes, you don't owe them a full explanation. But if you want one, my brain learned to build worlds when the real one wasn't enough. I'm just learning when to come back. So tonight, when you close your eyes and pick up that story right where you left off, and tomorrow, when you sit in a room and quietly disappear, you don't have to be afraid of it. You don't have to drown in shame. You built an entire world inside your head. Not because something was wrong with you, but because something had to be right somewhere. And it was. It kept you here. The only thing left is learning that you're allowed to exist in both places, the one you built and the one that's been waiting for you to come back. If this felt like something you needed to hear, there's more where this came from. The same depth, different corners of the same conversation. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Drop a comment, let me know if this resonated. Or share your own experience. The join button helps keep these deep dives going. I'll see you in the next one.